welcome to Holistic Glow. This week I'm going to show you what I do to deep clean my chicken coop. I often refer to my chickens as pigs with wings. They eat all the table scraps and they make a mess of whatever space you give to them. So come along with me as we get this coop looking better.
You turkey. This little chicken is broody, and so I'd put this in there to try to block it, but she still finds a way. Come on, you grump. Get out. It's hot in here. Go on.
So I'm not sure how they managed it, but those naughty chickens knocked over the bin that's normally full with food, so I had to get that picked up, and it just started to scrape everything away from the walls. There's a lot of buildup, let's say, chicken manure that ends up underneath the roost at night, so I wanted to make sure I got that all scraped off of the trim, off of the floors. I think the floors of this coop are like a plywood, and so I just feel like see how many times I hit that fly trap during the course of this video? 2 already. I like to get it scraped off the floor so the floor has a chance to dry out. I don't know, I don't want the floors to rot, so I like to get the manure scraped up as regularly. Now I feel like maybe some people compost their chicken manure. I don't compost really, but I just take the manure and shavings and I just kind of spread them out around the back of my property, and they kind of decompose over time.
Now that most of the wood shavings are out of here, I'm gonna go over it with probably a shovel and a broom and see if I can't get most of this cleaned up, just so we can start fresh.
Alright, so everything's all cleaned out now, got most of it swept up and scraped up, and it's looking a lot better.
So now that the floor is pretty much clean, I'm gonna get the old straw out of these boxes. These boxes haven't had fresh straw in a minute, and when I had roosters last year, they like to perch on the edge of the nesting boxes. So there was too much of a fight for space on the roosting ladder, so there's plenty of poop mixed in here, and I'd like for it to be clean. So let's get as much of the straw out as we can.
I was recently gifted some nesting box pads from Roostys, and I was really excited to give them a try. I've always used straw in my nesting boxes, and the cycle is generally fill up the nesting box with straw, hens come and kick it all out all over the place, and then someone poops it in the box or breaks an egg, and everything just becomes a mucky
since I have
mess.
2 extras, I could just put a third one in there, or maybe I could just cut it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just leave this for now. We've got the 3 layers kind of, and I'll see how it goes. If they don't like it, I can always cut it so it all fits 3 in a row. But that'll work for now.
Now that the coop floor is clean, it's time to get it all filled up with fresh bedding. Usually I get some kind of pine shavings, whatever I can find at Sweet Farm. Today I used more of a sawdust bedding, and I thought it would be easier to clean up, maybe muck out, similar to the way you would, there goes the fly trap again. I thought it would be similar to horses where you can kind of scoop the poop out and have a cleaner bedding for a longer period of time. So far, I have not found that to be the case. I feel like the poop mixes in with it so much that it just all looks awful already. So I think in the future, I'll go back to buying wood shavings. One of the cool things about this chicken coop or shed is that I've got a loft space on either side of it. Fly trap. So I've got plenty of room for storage in places that the chickens are going to get into things. So I like to keep straw bales or extra shavings up there so they don't tear open the packages. Although I could probably use like a step stool or something to get these things back up. before there's a will, there is a way.
So now that we've got the coop clean, we will see. Ooh, she's gonna try it. While she decides, I'm gonna go get another fly catcher. While she's waiting, I'm gonna get this little fly catcher hung up. I got another fly catcher hung. And the last thing I'm gonna do here is spread some diatomaceous earth. The flies are pretty heavy this year. And some of this will keep it good. So it's not good to breathe this. Should probably wear a mask. We're just gonna do this.
Now that the coop's clean, I'm going to go back to the run that's attached behind the chicken coop and just turn the dirt over. It's pretty wet, pretty sloppy, a lot of chicken poop. So I like to turn the dirt, I don't know, every couple of months. Helps to keep the manure levels on top down. And also every time I turn it, the chickens get so excited running around and scratching through the dirt and finding worms and bugs that are turned up. I have had issues with rodents getting into the coop, so I prefer to keep the food outside. And throwing a bucket over the feeder helps to prevent all the food from getting rained on if it does get wet outside.
It's a couple weeks later and I've been using these pads and I actually kind of love them. So there's still a lot of feathers and straw in here, but you'll see that the eggs stay perfectly clean. I'm able to kind of dump whatever dust and feathers and buildup gets in here. So yeah, it stays much cleaner. The thing that I am going to try is, since this is a little bit big, I'm gonna cut them down so they lay side by side instead of overlapping one another. As long as I'm going to cut them, I cut out a little notch here, so it fits, and then I think I'm going to cut another notch around here. I'm liking this better. This looks better. There's still turds in there that I need to knock out, but everything lies really flat. So now I'm going to move to this side. We're going to do the same thing. Side by side, which will make it a lot nicer, because when they're all stacked on top of each other, there's a tendency for these things to allow all the eggs to roll forward. So now it's a lot more flat. Hi, turkey. When are you gonna lay an egg? Never? Okay.